The suspect was shot in the upper thigh. He was treated at the hospital, was released, and is now at the Boulder County Jail. The Boulder DA says he will not be in court today, and they're unsure when his first appearance will happen. Reporting here in Boulder, I'm Gary Brode.
All right, Gary, thank you. And joining us now is Oakland County Sheriff Michael Bouchard and Dr. Ron Samarian, Chief of Psychiatry at Royal Oak Beaumont. Sheriff Bouchard, thank you for joining us this afternoon, and Dr. you as well. We're going to begin with you, Sheriff. Through the pandemic, we haven't seen these types of mass shooting incidents, and now 2 in a week. What's the concern amongst law enforcement as we emerge from this pandemic?
Well, you know, we've had a lot of uptick in violence in a lot of different kinds of settings. I think now people are getting out in bigger crowds and going to different venues like that, and that could be some of the attribution of this. But we've seen people quicker to violence in a variety of settings: domestic violence, different road rage situations we've seen, and it goes from 0 to 10 very, very quickly. You know, as you know, we were at Clawson with the Clawson police, where on this past weekend on Sunday, domestic situation escalated into a homicide. So we're seeing that variety of situations. People, maybe it's the pent up thing, and I'm sure Doc can speak to it better, but the anxiety, the tension of the moment, the pent up being quarantined, and all the kinds of fears and anxieties, depression that comes from this whole situation evidence itself, at least in our world, much more quickly to violence and anger.
All right, yes, Sheriff Bouchard, and to you, Dr. Samarian, among those same lines, you know, we are seeing emotions on high. Of course, these tragedies, watching them play out as we have, unfortunately, enough times, creating a lot of anxiety for people. What can we keep in mind?
Well, we've seen this before the pandemic. We see it during the pandemic, and unfortunately, we'll probably see it after things lighten up. In both these recent cases, what we see, and historically what we see, is a culmination of rage and fear and shame, with that being displaced onto innocent victims with lethal means. And it's, as the sheriff said, it's possible that the pandemic and the restrictions have added to that. We can't measure that right now. I think we have to keep in mind that, you know, as law enforcement has always said, be mindful of people that are getting angry, be mindful of your friends and relatives that are expressing stress and rage.